दोगुना लगान देना पड़ेगा आपसे मिल क्या चलेगा I know bad words बात सा
We are in the land of winds, Baku, which is the capital city of this country, and we have started our sightseeing tour here in this vibrant city by entering the old town, which is also known as Icherisheher or Icherisheher. I don't know how to pronounce it right. I checked with the lady at the museum in Shirvanshahs palace that it's actually called Icherisheher, and that means inner city. So yes, it's not Icherisheher, Icherisheher. There are 5 main gates, but the most famous one and probably the one through which you will enter, it's called the Gosha Gala Gapisi, which is this gate that is right behind me. So if you're coming from your hotel and if you're taking a cab or if you're walking, then on maps you can just put Gosha Gala Gapisi and it will bring you here. And through this gate you can enter the old city of Baku. For pedestrians, like if you're just walking, then the entrance is free. You don't have to pay anything. But I think for cars and for vehicles, there is a small charge. I think I saw like 2 manat as the entry fee. I don't know if it's like for a few hours or for the entire day, but I did see like 2 manat mentioned here. And at the entrance to every gate, like to each of the 5 gates, there are like these hammam bathhouses, which in ancient times was built to encourage travelers, especially the silk route traders, to wash themselves before entering the city, just to make sure that they are clean. And today there is just one functioning bathhouse, which is called Agha Mikhail Hammam. I'll try to see if I can find it. But yeah, when you are walking inside the old city, keep an eye out. There are like a lot of like these medieval style architecture, construction, buildings, some small artifact that you'll see spread out across the entire city. And the vibe of old city is so European.
First impressions of Baku. First thing that we noticed while we were going to the hotel was the incredible infrastructure. While we were crossing the city to come to the old city from our hotel, there was considerable traffic. Although the population is only 2.2 million, which is 22 lakhs, Bangalore has some 1.8 crores. So considerably fewer number of people than in Bangalore, but still the traffic was considerable, and as you can see, there are cars everywhere. So it seems that almost everybody has a car, that's why the traffic.
Our very first point of attraction in this old town is this tower that you see behind me, which is called the Maiden Tower, and it is considered to be one of the oldest structures in Baku. It's almost like 100 feet tall. Not even the locals know the exact purpose of why it was built, but earlier this country used to be Zoroastrian, like it used to follow Zoroastrianism, and in that religion they worship fire. So it is considered, like some theories they believe that this was built for worshipping fire. You can even go inside this tower. There is a museum. I think you have to pay like 15 manat for viewing the museum, and if you go all the way to the top, there's also a viewing platform. They have created this small black colored mini version of the Icherisheher. Was inscribed on the World Heritage List of UNESCO in 2000. and it has preserved much of its 12th century defensive walls. So there are defensive walls that were constructed around the old city to protect the city from winds, from harsh winds, because Baku is known as the land of winds. It remains windy throughout the year, so the walls were constructed to keep the people safe here from the harsh winds. And the main attraction here is of course the Maiden Tower, and then you also have the Shirvanshah Palace that we are going to go and see next. But yeah, it's amazing to see the medieval architecture of this place, just to know Baku more before we start exploring the modern side of the city. Once you come to Baku, you will realize that actually Baku has two sides. One is the medieval old architecture and the other is the modern architecture that you will see further in the video. And I was actually reading a lot about it, but it was only when we came here that we actually realized how different the two sides of the city are. The old architecture, the medieval architecture, and then you have on the other side you have infrastructure such as the flame tower, which is like the modern side. So you can actually see the two contrasting sides to the city, and which is something that you can only experience. It's not something that you can read about or see it in videos, but it's only something that once you come here and you experience it, see it for yourself, you'll realize how diverse this small capital city is. So now let's continue exploring Baku. So the best way to explore Baku is just to get lost in these cobble lanes. People that you will meet here, they're all so nice, and there are a lot of like souvenir shops, coffee shops, totally European vibes. So I would highly recommend that, like, forget your phone and just walk around, get lost in the streets and explore some beautiful places in this vibrant city. As you will walk around in the old city, you will meet a lot of tourist companies like local tour operators, and every 10 steps you'll have a new tour operator and people from that company coming in and giving you these brochures and selling their tours and different tours to you. So definitely it's a good option in case if you haven't already booked anything before. You'll have a lot of options once you come here. We met some wonderful people of this company called the Smile Tours company, and we have Omar from Smile Tours company. So in case if you're
price all of the back, and the first one, when more tourists when you come in Azerbaijan selected our companies.
Yes, I've heard a lot of good reviews about this place.
Smile Azerbaijan and the number one in back on the travel companies.
Yes, and interestingly, his grandfather is from Delhi,
yeah.
and he knows a little bit of Hindi. Can you speak a little bit of Hindi?
मेरा नाम उमर है, मैं थोड़ा bara Hindi, and I say आपको पुराना शहर कैसे लगा? बहुत अच्छा लगा.
Wow, you're very good with Hindi. Awesome.
Hi everybody, welcome Old City. And my name is Omar. I'm working in the travel companies, and I'm from Azerbaijan. But I say my grandpa from Delhi, and I know the Hindi language. And I am starting. My name is मेरा नाम Omar है, मैं थोड़ा bara Hindi. When you Indian people come here, I ask आपको पुराना शहर कैसे लगा? And everybody say me बहुत अच्छा लगा. And I am say thank you very much.
मेरा नाम है Sasha. मैं थोड़ा bara Urdu. I know so many bad words Indian, and I know old Indian local joke. It's doguna lagan dena parega. It's Indian words lagan. It's double traffic. I know because my friends live in Pakistan and India and teach me normal words and bad words. आपसे मैं क्या अच्छा लगा? I know bad words. Batsa. Yeah. Mubandrak. And other words. Allah Hafiz.
There's this guy guy who's playing really melodious music over there, and he's playing this instrument, and I asked him what is it called. It's like, he said hand something. I couldn't understand what exactly is the instrument called, but it's so melodious. Every time you hear these musicians playing something, pay them something, because it will actually help them. They'll always have like a cap or a bag in which you can put some money, so make sure that you help them in whatever way you can.
Magical, what you up to? Can I have a minute of your time?
While walking, we came across this board which talks about the caravanserais. So caravanserais are basically ancient roadside inns or like ancient hotels, which was kept in place for especially the Silk Route traders, so that whenever they are traveling on their trading route, then they could stop there for a night's rest. There's this place called Sheki in Azerbaijan, which has caravanserais that you can actually go and see. I'm not sure if there's one in Baku, but in case if we find it, then we'll show it to you.
Want me to turn my heel and forget you? All I know, it can't be done. I'm only asking once, would you let me take a minute of your time? You might just be surprised at where it gets you. All I know,
You will come across a lot of these small souvenir shops, and some of them have really interesting pieces. So for example, this one, so which is right very near to the Maiden Tower, so that's a Maiden Tower, and you walk this side. There are a lot of like antique pieces, like they have this old tape recorder. I'll show it to you. So they have this like old ancient tape recorder, telephone, some old cameras, and then they also have like these antique coins, and the oldest one is I think from 1870, which is from the Soviet time. They also have like, so this is like 1904, so a lot of like ancient old coins, and you can purchase them for like 2 to 3 manat for each coin. And then they have like these huge utensils over here, some water dispensers, a lot of ancient unique antique stuff at this place.
don't care if you hurt me. Lead me on for fun. Not for once, I'm telling you. Don't keep this up. You lose someone who really loves you.
The southern entrance to the Shirvanshah Palace, we have these bath houses. These are the Gazimbe Bath Complex, and they have like a series of dome, and you can actually go and climb on top of them. And in ancient times, these were the bath houses in which people used to go and clean themselves. As far as I know, there used to be a lot of these bath complexes in and around Baku, but now only a few of them have been left, and this is like one of the major ones.
Nothing he can bother you.
We found this bronze bust of the poet, and his name is Alaiga Mamadgulu Iskandarov or Wahid. So he's a very famous master of ghazals. I don't know what it's ghazal. It's Gazels. So master of ghazals and satiric poetry. And this is the man. Now we are about to enter the Miniature Book Museum, which is one of its kind and apparently one of the only miniature book museum in the world. They have like more than 6,500 books, miniature books, and you can find it right on the street when you're walking towards the Shirvanshah Palace. So we are going to go inside, and the opening timings are I think 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I've read that the main reason why they started this museum was to promote literacy, and they are using a different concept to promote literacy and education by having these miniature books in here.
I don't think that I'm being that selfish right now. You said yourself know if you'd be breaking every vow. I can understand you're tired of this.
The owners of this place were very kind and they asked us if we are from India or Pakistan, and when we told them we are from India, they said namaste, and then they told us that they also have Bhagavad Gita in here. So here we have the miniature version of Bhagavad Gita. There's also Hanuman Chalisa. Yeah. So Hanuman Chalisa and Bhagavad Gita are the miniature versions. Unfortunately, we cannot buy them. These are not for sale. These are just for you to come here and admire them. And they also showed us that on top they have the flag of India on top. But a very interesting place, one of its only kind in the entire world.
Town, and I'm not saying that we have to settle down.
If you saw the name of the museum, it's actually called Miniature Kitab Museum. So I think here also for books, they do use the word kitab, just like how we do in India. Yash also had a very interesting experience. He met a guy from Pakistan. This is Nizami Street, the most famous shopping street of Baku. I thought I'll give you some more information about Azerbaijan and information that will help you plan your trip.